Kevin is asking about layouts for tournaments, okay? First of all, is it a tournament on a house shot? Then you use your house shot layouts. But when you go to nationals, USBCs, or some state tournaments are starting to run them now, you're going to bowl on sport patterns. Sport patterns are 4-1 or less. The USBC just passed a rule saying for leagues you don't have to put any oil on the outside. So you're going to get oil patterns for leagues that can be as much as 15-1, 26-1. I've written one that's 31-1. That means there's 31 times as much oil in the center as there is on the outside. Now, will the ball that works on that pattern also work at the USBC Nationals or a competitive tournament where they're using sport patterns? Probably not at all. So the key is, what pattern are you bowling on? Get your information. If you're bowling on a sport pattern or a competitive pattern, then you're going to want balls that read the lane sooner and harder, because you're not going to have free hook to the right. If you're bowling house shot tournaments and there's no oil on the outside, which changed this year when the USBC changed the rules, you can use your same balls you use on house shots, just get your feet in the right place and feed it. But if you're bowling on competitive tournaments like the USBC Nationals, or some state tournaments are using either competitive or sport patterns. When you're using them, the balls that are working at home are not going to work, because there's going to be enough oil on the outside that when you swing it, it's going to wave at you. So you need to use balls that are stronger, like this puppy. That is the new results from Radical with a lot of surface on it, or you can use it with less surface. But you're going to want to use stronger balls so you can create area. And when you move in, the ball will recover from the ball track, which will show up. So the answer to your question is, take a look at the oil pattern. If you can get the information, find out what pattern you're bowling on. House shots are good when there's hardly any oil on the outside, and your normal ball you use on a house shot works in tournaments like that. But if you're going to go to nationals, PBA regionals, PWBA regionals, competitive tournaments, you're going to need another look, because they're going to put oil on the outside and you're going to scratch your head and go, now what do I do? Going to nationals, they don't post a pattern. How do you find out? Well, you can be sure of one thing. It's a sport pattern, which means the ratio is less than 4-1. And they're going to be tricky. And when you leak it to the outside of the ball track, it's probably going to wave at you. So when you go to nationals, yeah, it's a sport pattern. Your ball you're going to use at home just isn't going to work. So get something drilled that recovers better from the outside of the lane and will read the pattern sooner. Because they don't tell you what it is, but I can tell you it will always be sport compliant. So you're going to get a t-shirt for this one. We appreciate the question. You better learn how to read the oil patterns and find out what pattern it is before you get there. And when you go to nationals, your house ball isn't going to work. Sorry about that. Mo Monday.